Hello everyone, I'm Alex,
I'm Andy.
and today we're going to be working together to decide the 5 best SNES games of all time.
Which should be easy this time because there's no Pokemon on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, there won't be. I haven't put Pokemon on any of them, I don't think.
I feel like there's always a healthy debate. You try to put Pokemon Snap and
Okay,
on
okay,
N64.
fine. But Pokemon Snap isn't it's art. It's not a Pokemon game. It's more than that.
Wow.
Okay, but enough about the N64. Let's talk about its older brother.
It's father.
Yeah. The SNES. Also, join our Patreon. We do reviews there. We're really trying to build our capabilities and expand what we're doing on there. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let's get right into this ranking, starting with the most obvious game, Super Mario World. I was going to maybe say something funny, and then I decided not to.
In the Super Mario World versus Mario 3 debate, I'm firmly Super Mario World. I think it's one of the greatest games of all time. Probably third. It's the third best game on the system, only because there are 2 games on it that you could argue are also the greatest games of all time.
Yoshi's Island is definitely one of them.
And Wings.
Pilot Wings?
Pilot Wing. No.
Wings like that shoot 'em up?
Yeah, the Konami World War II.
Yeah. The shoot 'em up.
Oh, those are missions, bro.
They're missions?
You go on missions.
Okay,
Yeah.
whatever. It plays
That's
exactly
the greatest
the
game
same.
on the SNES.
That's not even going to get named. My opinion on Super Mario World, I probably like 3 more. I definitely genuinely do like Yoshi's Island more, but it is a good game, and it should be on our top 5
Honestly,
SNES
Yoshi's
games.
Island is going to definitely... I want to clear up something that was on one of the previous videos where they said that I thought Ocarina of Time was the greatest game of all time, which I do not, but there was a moment where everyone thought that. And I have a feeling like at some point people are going to look back and be like, that's the greatest like platformer on the Super Nintendo. And all the rest of us are going to be like...
Plock.
Obviously
Plock. Well, we'll have both of them down.
All right.
I'm fine with both of them being in the top 5. I think it maybe be fitting.
I'm going to throw out Star Fox.
Star Fox. Okay. It's cool.
If they hadn't have come out with Star Fox 64, which is the superior and ultimate version of that concept, it would probably be higher on my list. But it should be mentioned because this is the beginning of that property here on the SNES.
Yeah. And it definitely is cool to see it running. Like I have Star Fox, and putting it into my SNES is sick, but it is a slideshow.
Polygons on an SNES.
It is cool, but if I'm going to play a game like that, it's always going to be Stunt Race FX instead of Star Fox.
No.
I love that game. It's so cool.
Do you have co-pilots that say stuff like...
No, but the cars have little faces.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I rented that game one time. That was the only time I ever played it.
It's pretty sick. I'm not going to bother writing it down. Tetris Attack, Panel Upon, whatever you want to call it. That's one of my favorite games of all time.
You know, when I was playing SNES back in the day, I did not play any puzzle games on it. That was reserved for my Game Boy.
No,
so
that makes sense. It is kind of a handheld activity.
I don't think I've ever played any puzzle games on an SNES.
Well, you should play Tetris. I'm sure you've played it in some form.
I have played it
in your life. Yes. You can imagine what it's like on an SNES.
Inferior.
No, it's more
not
colorful.
Top 5. Not top 5.
I'm going to argue for it.
Wow.
What's another game for you?
Super Metroid.
I knew you were going to say that. For some reason, I thought you were saying Super Meat Boy.
Super Metroid and Link to the Past.
2 games I haven't played.
Which is criminally insane.
I'm busy playing Stunt Race FX.
How can you have a video game podcast and you've never played Super Metroid or Link to the Past?
I played
2
Stunt
greatest
Race
games
FX.
of all time.
Here's the thing, though. You can go on any show and find 2 schlubs that have played Super Metroid and A Link to the Past. You'll never find someone that's played Stunt Race FX.
Well, you will.
That's
They
what I bring
don't
to the
talk
table.
about it because they also play Super Metroid, which meant they played a vastly superior game.
This video is going to blow up in the Stunt Race FX community. Guys, you got to come through for me. I'm hanging on
Stunt
by a
Race
thread
FX,
here.
the notable thing about that game is you can use that game to make Star Fox 2.
Oh.
Like if you want to download a hack of
I
Star
thought you
Fox
were going
2
to say
on
there's
it.
like a naked car code or something.
Yeah, if you beat it in under 2 minutes,
The cars
car
take their
is in a
wheels off.
bikini at the end.
There was some game like that. I mean,
Super Metroid.
Oh, I guess kind of. Not really.
No, if you beat it in a certain amount of time, Samus at the end is wearing less and less of her armor.
Okay, so that's why you like it.
That's why I like it.
I
Yeah.
see.
60 hours of my life, I finally got to see a pixelated
Wow.
version of Samus.
I'm gonna put F-Zero. Also, that game's sick.
Tech demo, and we didn't
You
say
said
pilot.
Star
We said
Fox.
Pilot Wings earlier. I mean, yeah, sure. Star Fox is a tech demo. Pilot Wings is a tech demo. F-Zero also a tech demo.
But it's a good game.
It is.
too.
It is an okay game.
It's better than Star Fox on the SNES. If we're talking SNES games, here.
Whoa! You think F-Zero is better than Star Fox?
Yes, on the
No
SNES.
way. There is so much more gameplay
No,
in
because
Star Fox than F-Zero.
It's a
you could spend,
slideshow.
You could spend years playing Star Fox.
yeah, and then you'll
never
get through
spend
3 frames in that year. In those years, it's 1 frame per year.
Oh, you got to get good.
F-Zero runs at
You gotta
60
get-
FPS.
I made it all the way to Andros in Star Fox. I've never raced more than one race on F-Zero. There was a ton of really great arcade beat 'em up ports on the SNES that should be noted. None of them were quite as good as the arcade, except for Turtles in Time. I think still one of the greatest beat 'em ups of all time. I think Turtles in Time has got to be on that list. The best 16-bit beat 'em up
is Streets of Rage 2.
So I knew you were going to say that. Which, that's a debate for another time.
I was playing Final Fight 3 on my little emulator handheld
Yeah,
today.
because that cartridge is unaffordable.
Is it? Oh, I didn't know it was expensive.
I think the Final Fight series is great. The first one was not good. 2 and 3 were good. I don't think they're better than Turtles in Time. The other one I was going to say by Konami was Sunset Riders.
Donkey Kong Country.
No, I love those games.
Okay.
I do.
2 is the most favored generally, right?
Yeah, it's funny. I go back and play 1 more than any of them because I think that's the one I just have the most nostalgia for. But I think 2 was definitely a better game. You had more versatility with the characters you were into, the level design, really great iterations on a lot of the levels from the first game. I would put 2 above 1, and I would definitely have 2 on the list.
Okay, cool.
3 is kind of like just a fun, wow, I'm glad they made that.
I've never gotten past like level 2 in any of the Donkey Kong Country games.
When those came out, were like, we could not believe what we were seeing.
Yeah, they look cool, and the movement and everything feels good. I'm not good. I'm not good at it, I guess.
Mega Man X 1 through 4, we'll say, is pretty amazing. For a long time, that was my favorite Mega Man series. I liked it better than the mainline series, but Mega Man X, that was one of the first games I ever beat, I think, as a kid. And the armor that you get, the power-ups, the way the levels, moving from the Robot Masters to the reptile robot, whatever they're called, was awesome. Sigma was a great enemy replacing Dr. Wily. Mega Man X is awesome. You could probably argue that Mega Man X 2 or 3 are better games, but I don't really know if they are. I think Mega Man X.
Cool. I've
never played a Mega Man game.
I've only played Mega Man
Mega
Battle
Man
Network
Legends.
2.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what my second Mega Man game is going to be? Mega Man Soccer.
That's a good game.
It seems
that's
pretty
on the
cool.
SNES.
Yeah, it is. I haven't played it, though. Kirby's Dream Land 3. Definitely my favorite looking not Dreamcast, what the hell? My favorite looking SNES game, I guess Dreamland.
Kirby's Dreamcast. Killer Instinct is a game a lot of people would probably put on a top 5 list. I don't think either of us.
It's a fighting game?
It is a fighting
I'm
game.
not even sure.
Final Fantasy 3/6 is getting its due now. That's an incredible game. The fact that they fit all that on a SNES cartridge is insane. You got to put FF6
Just
on a
6
top
Fs.
5 list
As many
for
Fs as
sure.
I can
And I mean, Chrono Trigger, considered the greatest RPG of all time. Again, the fact that they put all that on that cartridge. I wish I could remember all the names of the developer. It was like the dream team of people from Square, working on that game, and it was awesome.
I think Final Fantasy VI and Chrono Trigger both sit in a special class of games I've played about 10 minutes on my school Chromebook in high school.
Wow.
After I learned how to download a Google Chrome emulator that also gave you a
that's
virus.
the true form that's the best format.
That's
for
how these
playing
games are
those
meant to be played.
Yeah, exactly.
On your school Chromebook.
I think superior versions of those games have come out later. So
Yeah,
I'm okay. I'm okay kind of letting Nintendo take the
list.
Take the list here.
We have a pretty big. Is there any other ones? You didn't say Super Castlevania 4. Do you care about that game?
For a long time that was my favorite Castlevania game until I got good and played actual really good Castlevania games. Until I grew up, which is funny because I think a lot of people really loved it. It has a great soundtrack, but it is kind of a muddy palette. I don't like the size of the sprites compared to others. I think ultimately, over time, other Castlevania games have overshadowed that for me. I mean, Super Castlevania 4 should definitely be in the conversation, but it's not going to make the top 5, I don't think.
Okay.
We should definitely mention Aladdin.
I almost was going to bring it up, yeah.
Capcom's Aladdin should definitely be top 5.
I'll do it just because I think it's funny. I do really love that game, too.
That game is awesome. I'm glad you finally come around on that. Earthbound.
We forgot to even say Earthbound. I've never played it. Have you played Earthbound?
I have played Earthbound.
Okay.
It's a really great game. You should play it because you like Pokemon.
I should play it.
And it is kind of like Pokemon. Contra. Oh, we didn't mention Contra 3. Oh my god.
I don't know. I'm not into like guns and muscly guys.
Running
and stuff.
guns. Contra 3 is one of the best there is. You got to play Contra 3.
I've probably played the first 15 seconds of it.
Yeah, you got to play more than 15 seconds. There has
We
to be
have
at least
Super Castlevania.
there has to be I would put Contra 3 over Super Castlevania 4.
Okay.
I think you got to have at least one Konami game, but I would put Turtles in Time over both those.
It's not getting into
Turtles
top
in
five.
Time? That is like one of the greatest games ever made. The SNES port is almost perfect port of the arcade. You can throw the foot soldiers at the screen. That game is perfect. You can play that game. You can play that game from start to finish. Just hit reset, start it all over again. Just do it over and over again.
I have
The
the
game
Turtles
is
collection. I'll
insane.
try it. You better.
the Turtles collection. Oh my god.
What?
Nothing.
You
need
want
an
me to buy all
SNES.
those games?
Yes.
They're expensive.
Complete inbox. Yeah, I think we got it. I don't.
Okay,
I
well
don't know.
let's start by eliminating some stuff. I guess I'm never going to be able to get Tetris Attack in the top 5.
No.
So I'll delete it. Sunset Riders I think gets deleted.
Yep.
I mean, you don't even want Super Castlevania 4 on the list, and I've never played it. So
It's there's better Castlevania games.
yeah. Anything here jump out at you as something very obvious to delete?
Aladdin. Aladdin.
Kinda.
That's
It'd
a
be
great
so
game.
funny. But...
I've beaten that game more than any other game
Then maybe
in the
it should
history of
stay.
all video games.
Yeah, so why are we deleting it? It's not. This isn't actually an objective list. I feel like it's a
Well,
little
then-
late in the video.
then
To be saying
Aladdin.
that.
I mean, that's actually probably the only game on this entire list that both of us have probably completed.
Yeah, so we need to keep it in for that reason. I will concede A Link to the Past, Super Metroid.
Honestly, Final Fantasy
Six.
6. I don't think. I mean,
You hate Final Fantasy VI?
no. I think it's an incredible game, but you're not going to put it above. It's not going to make the top 5.
Okay.
Well, I think Star Fox. I'll concede Star Fox.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't want to get rid of Yoshi's Island, but I also don't think we need Super Mario World and Yoshi's Island. Do I have any chance of convincing you to put F-Zero in the top 5? Because it isn't,
No.
it's probably
No,
like 2.
no,
It's like
no,
number
no.
2 on my favorite SNES games.
Wow. No, there's no way.
Ugh,
No one
okay.
ever. If it was for Smash Bros, no one would even know who. what's his name
Everyone
is.
likes, every single human likes F-Zero.
I don't even know his name. Captain Skyhawk.
Captain Falcon.
Captain Falcon. Donkey Kong Country 2.
Really?
It's not going to be in the top 5. Look at those games. Like this is like an insane list. Donkey Kong Country 2 is great, but it's not.
It's like one of 3 games that are still left that I've played. So there's something to that at least. But okay.
Well,
I'll take
here,
it.
if right now we stopped the list and just did the 3 games left that you've played, it would be Donkey Kong Country 3, Aladdin, and
Kirby's Dream Land. I played Super Mario World.
I mean, those are pretty good games. But
Yeah. Okay, we'll take out Donkey Kong Country. Fine.
I mean, Super Metroid and Link to the Past are goated. So is Mario World. Mario World, Super Metroid, Link to the Past.
Yeah, those are hard to argue out of the top 5.
Yeah, so we're really choosing 2 out of the next list. The audience.
I mean, if
knows.
you want me to not leave today upset, it has to be Kirby's Dream Land 3 and Aladdin. That's the only way.
I mean,
Every other way, I'm crying on the way out.
if you did it, I think SNES is actually one of the weird consoles where I actually think you could overlay the price, like the going market value of these games, just loose cart, and it would actually tell you everything you need to know.
So Super Mario World sucks.
Yeah.
It's bad. I mean,
But
Kirby's Dream Land 3 is expensive. as
Yeah,
shit.
that's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
okay,
Kirby's
cool.
Dream Land 3, Chrono Trigger, Earthbound, those are like the 3 most expensive games on the system.
That's
like,
fair. I mean, I also kind of think of Chrono Trigger as a DS game. I know it's incorrect, but if we need an excuse to get rid of something, come back for our DS list, and Chrono Trigger might make
all
it.
right, that works. That's fine. I
Okay.
can get behind that. The Aladdin just
It's hanging on. I'm gonna fight for this. Is literally out of Turtles in Time, Mega Man X, Earthbound, and Contra 3, and Aladdin. The only one I have ever played is Aladdin. I've never touched any of these other games.
I think you could take Earthbound off because it's too niche.
It was.
America was not ready for RPGs.
They're very ready for it now, though. I feel like.
Oh, they've been ready for a while. I feel like that game has popped off for sure.
Yeah.
Turtles in Time.
I
Mega Man
actively
X.
don't like Contra. So
You can take
Contra
you can take
off?
Contra
Okay.
3 off because like we're literally talking about games I own and still own at this point.
Our last 3 are Turtles in Time, Mega Man X, Aladdin. I'd be fine with any of them in the top 5. I definitely want Aladdin most because I played it, and I think it'd be funny. But if I had to eliminate Aladdin, I'd say Mega Man X.
Do you prefer Capcom or Konami as a
Capcom.
developer?
Well, I just think of Konami as like they're like corrupt and evil or something, aren't they?
I mean, they fired what's his name?
Kojima, and they just do like gambling now or something.
All right, so Turtles in Time it gets nixed because Konami
Okay,
makes
so
bad business decisions.
Yes.
Doesn't understand the
what the fans want, which is Aladdin 2.
Capcom made Aladdin.
Oh yeah, well whatever.
This is tough. Both of these games are like My
Yeah.
like 10-year-old self, like
He's freaking out.
I didn't really understand like Super Metroid and Link to the Past. Like those were games I played, but I didn't really like enjoy and savor those games until I was older. Like Mega Man X and Aladdin, I have been playing those games for like literally 30 years. And they still hold up. They're still awesome. Like I know where every single piece of armor is in Mega Man X. I could like tell you right now. Aladdin, I speedrun with my daughter. This is the only video game my daughter will tolerate me playing, because it's Disney.
Makes sense.
And so I've been like pseudo learning how to speedrun that game because I have to play it so many times.
I mean, if it's our list, I feel like it should be Aladdin. I haven't played Mega Man X.
All right, we'll do it for the
Yeah, we're gonna
the clickbait and the comment hate.
Yes. Well, and
Aladdin.
and genuinely, I mean, if my opinion matters, which I think it should, I think Aladdin gets here. Aladdin can be number 5 automatically.
Wait, if you haven't played the SNES version of Aladdin, we're not just saying this. This is actually a really good
It is
platforming
sick,
game
yeah.
by Capcom. Like they nailed like so many amazing things in this game. Like it's really great comfort food if you just want something kind of light and easy. If you want a challenge, you can try to get the red gems in every level. The songs are all there. The levels are really cool. The genie level is really amazing and inventive. Really, really cool stuff. Sometimes it has like a Prince of Persia feel to it. Sometimes it's just an awesome like platformer. It has this like gliding mechanic. Where you're like holding onto this like rug and like gliding, which I think there's like some modern new retro games that have started to use that mechanic. I'm surprised no one in like 30 years didn't do it because it's a really great.
I think
game
Bubsy
mechanic.
did it.
No,
I think Bubsy floats.
Bubsy.
We've never. This
I
is the
can't
first
believe
Bubsy mention on the
into-
show. In the greatest SNES games of all time discussion. A Link to the Past number 1 or something. Super Metroid number 1.
I think Super Metroid is actually a better game than. I mean, that's interesting. That's where it's like the franchise is like cannibalizing itself, because I think there have been better Zelda games to come out after Link to the Past, and so many Zelda games that have paid great homage to it are ones I like going back to more than Link to the Past. Where Super Metroid, it's hard to really argue there have been any greater Metroid games than that. The Metroid Prime series is kind of like its own spinoff. And really, like, there are some good 2D Metroids. Metroid Zero Mission is an amazing game.
So the order we've decided on is the actual best 3 SNES games that Andy has played, and then the 2 random SNES games that I've played that I fought tooth and nail to get on this list. So if you guys like these last 2 games, or I guess the first 2 games in order that I'm going to say them, thank me, because it was my duty. So number 5 on the greatest SNES games of all time list is Aladdin. Another awesome platformer that looks better than Aladdin is Kirby's Dream Land 3. So sick, you can ride a giant hamster. Number 3 is Super Mario World. Number 2 is A Link to the Past. And number 1 is Super Metroid. Let us know what your list would be down in the comments. And let us know if you agree with ours.
Let us know what you really think.
Yes, and so thank you for watching. And now it's time for our Patreon-only segment. What's the worst SNES game?